you can have multiple favorites in the world, I think. I'd like to talk about playing favorites with your children. For many reasons. You know, I grew up in a family of 3 kids, and I was the only child that my mom breastfed, and she breastfed me for a long time. I've talked about that before. So we had this really special connection early on. But do I think she played favorites with me? I was the last kid, I was the baby, and I don't know if it was so much favorites as it was, you know, I was the last one to be in diapers, and I was the last one to be in those cute clothes, and so she had this special feeling for me because it was the last time she was going to go through those milestones with the child of hers.
Everybody's got a favorite ice cream, favorite wine, favorite this, favorite that, but you're not allowed to have a favorite child. That's just the conventional wisdom. Although some others would lead you to believe otherwise, and you might grow up thinking that you were the favorite child or were not the favorite child. But chances are, if you compared notes with your parents or your sibling, they'd have a very different story. I was such the good little girl, and I did everything I was supposed to do. And my brother was kind of wild. I felt like, you know, I'm sparing you all this grief. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. I'm such a good girl. I bring home good grades, and I do the shopping and the laundry and all that stuff. And he gets away with everything, therefore he's your favorite. And he might say, you know, Mindy was such a good little bitch, and you loved her more than me because she was so helpful. Hard to tell, isn't it?
Do you really think anyone's going to admit having a favorite child? I can't really imagine somebody would admit that. I know I probably wouldn't, but luckily I don't have to, because my children, like everyone else here, they're just such different kids. I can't even imagine choosing a favorite between them.
I do want, you know, my 5-year-old to know when I'm with her and spending quality time with her that, yeah, you are my favorite person in the world. You know, what's wrong with thinking that? Yeah, you're my favorite person in the world.
There is one thing I think that a lot of people also don't like to admit, and that is that if you have more than one child, probably one of them is a better fit for you than the other one. I think there is just a natural tendency to have an affinity to one child who happens to be more like you.
Now for my children, each one of them is so different. There's no way to have a favorite, because you can have, you can have such different relationships with them. I have a favorite version of each child. I have to say, maybe several.
Can't really compare the children right now because I have a 5-year-old and a 3-month-old, and the 5-year-old is just this really complicated being who, you know, one day can be a complete miracle of wondrous light and color, and the next day be downright ornery. And you know, I have this 3-month-old who basically has 3 emotions, you know. And the 3-month-old is just so much easier.
It's not that I consider my daughter my favorite. It's just that much can be unsaid with her because I can fill in the blanks. She's so much like me in many ways. Whereas my son, you could not meet 2 more opposite people. Really, everything about my son and me is different, but we're incredibly close, and the love is amazing. And because of him, there are things about this world that I know that I never knew before, and I don't think I ever could have known had he not been my son.
One child might be more difficult and need just a whole lot more cuddling and attention and motivation than the other. And that might look like a favorite. But if the other one is really easygoing and helpful and supportive and all of that, you know, that can be viewed as, you know, favoritism.
I think you go through phases where one kid is really grating on your nerves and the other kid's being really good. And you get to the end of that day and you go, well, it was much funner to be around that other one today, now wasn't it? And I don't think you're a bad person for feeling that way at all. But how do you guys play favorites with your kids? Do you say to the second one, I love you so much more, you're the better child, you didn't make mommy crazy?
Join the Momversation at momversation.com.